Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. What is this someone on? My God.
All right, guys. Welcome to another day. What is today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. Guys, I don't know if you ever heard of this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Have you guys ever heard of the haunted Seven Sisters Road in Nebraska?
I have.
That is awesome. How about you, Ron? Have you ever heard about the Seven Sister Road, the haunted road?
A while ago, I did. Yeah. I think those are the girls out of Nebraska.
Yeah. Now, I got a good video of it, but this is just a website that's called Haunted Seven Sisters Road. It's basically located in the southeast Nebraska. In the Otoe Country is an old path known locally as Seven Sisters Road. According to the local legend, 7 women were murdered here in the 1900s. Now, we all really, truly don't know exactly what causes a haunting. We think, if somebody got murdered, that energy is left there. But there's a lot of hauntings where there weren't really a murder there. So there's no direct science. There's no book about how a place is haunted. Some places are just haunted. Some places are next to a graveyard. But what makes a place is haunted? Now, I believe if somebody is murdered or died, that could definitely leave a print.
Like residual?
Haunting. Now, this place, according to this story, 7 of them died. Imagine that. If 7 deaths happened in a spot. If you believe that a haunting can be caused from a death that's just taking your life away, just like that. I mean, a murder is your life is gone. That what happens to your soul when it's gone like that? Not like you're on your deathbed, you're sick and you're slowly dying.
I tend to believe that when people are murdered or something like that, they don't cross over to the other side because they feel like they have unfinished business on this side. So they tend to stick around and haunt, or you get like a residual haunting and stuff from that.
Yeah, that's an awesome theory. Some people believe that there's an unfinished business.
Yeah.
And then some of these ghost stories you see that it's not unfinished business because this thing, what is this kind of ghost doing here? But like I said, sometimes it is unfinished business because some people say that some of these ghosts talk to you in your dreams or you vision them
as well. Yeah.
A lot of there's claims of mediums, which we know a few mediums. If you believe in that kind of stuff, that can talk to the dead. But here's a video on the 7 sister wives. I'm sorry, I'm thinking the show Sister Wives. I don't mind if they disappear. I won't say that.
Sister Wives.
Haunted Sister Wives. Imagine them. They would be man-hater, right? There we go.
Stories that just kind of gets under our skin and you begin to question, is it real? Well, there's quite a few urban legends here in Nebraska. And we're going to look at one where you might hear the screams of 7 sisters.
By day, this country road outside of Nebraska City is like any other. The land is farmed, trees dot the landscape, unassuming. But this road, some say, has a dark history, one of murder, savagery. This is the 7 Sisters Road.
There are many different variations of the legend, but the main one is that in the late 1800s, early 1900s, a father, for some reason, got upset with his 7 daughters, and he hanged them individually on hills, on trees, on each of the 7.
You guys hear that for a second?
Terrible.
A father.
That I didn't know.
And when I heard that part, think about even that kind of death of somebody you're supposed to trust, you admire, your father and mother.
What about watching your sisters hang? All that mental anguish.
I thought it was the brother, so I was wrong. I always thought it was the
they're
brother that
different.
did it.
All right. They said there's different versions, but this is like the original
okay.
story. So there are different folklore stories of it, but this is the original one.
7 hills that are on this road that lead down to the Missouri River.
When the sun goes down, the pitch-black, eerie night becomes a playground for restful spirits. 7 sisters reliving their fate, attacked by their evil father over and over again.
Then you hear things. You hear screams, you hear moans, you maybe catch a glimpse of white nightgowns in the distance or lights fluttering. There's all sorts of stories that happen.
A word of caution if you dare to make the trip. The spirits won't let you pass free of charge.
The car comes to a stop, and then you get out and pop the hood, see what's wrong. If you're brave enough to get out of the car while you're parked on 7 Sisters Road.
Braving the road late at night, 3 News Now investigators had some experience of our own.
What was that?
Strange sounds coming from our microphones.
It was like a oop.
Fully charged batteries dying. It made our skin crawl. Local lore comes in different forms. Some say it's not even sisters, but an evil monster or a bear. It really depends on who you talk.
Now that's a good question too. For a second, now I'll continue this video. If somebody was murdered like that in such an evil way, instead of them haunting, could that technically open a pathway for a demon or devil to come out? Like it opens the door because something evil has happened to allow that dimension to open. I'm just speculating.
I mean, it could be possible. I mean,
somehow, if you believe in that stuff, evil does come here somehow. You know, maybe they need something to dramatically happen for them to have a door open than just saying, I'm gonna go abduct Anthony. I'm gonna haunt him. I'm gonna scratch him up.
better not.
Maybe they have to have a way to get there, to go get Anthony.
Can you use Ron as an example? You know what I mean? I'm down
Well,
here.
I've been using Ron a lot during
down
the
here
week.
in this basement all alone, bro.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going.
I've been doing Ron too much. Now it's your turn.
Thank you.
There's always some kind of a saying there's spooks down there and everything else.
The story evolves. The legend spreads, gaining infamy.
What do you think about this being considered the most haunted road in America?
Well, it could be. It could be.
3 News Now investigators tried to find out the real story. Local historian Tammy Parch delved into the lore.
There would be record of this. You cannot murder or have 7 daughters in one family killed without being some sort of record.
I hear what she's saying there, but we're
That's not
also
necessarily
talking about the
true.
18 and 1900s when
ain't true.
not all records were recorded.
People used to die on, people used to have large plots of land, cattle and all of that stuff. And when family members died, they got laid to rest right on the land.
Yeah.
There was
Now,
nobody gotten bombed or none of that. They just dug a hole and put you in and put your tombstone there back then.
I can see that now, from the 60s and up, but we're talking 18, 1900. How many people died in cowboy towns, fighting each other from bars and stuff? And I'm sure 80% of records are not accounted for. I mean, 80% of people who die in that era are not counted for.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Nebraska City had a newspaper starting in the 1850s, more than one.
But maybe there's a reason for that. Perhaps local leaders back then didn't want their peaceful small community known in such an infamous way, known for a horrendous murder.
That's true, too.
It could have been scrubbed from the history books. It's all speculation. For folks today, they see and hear what they want. Visit at your own risk.
I'm not going to go out of my way to come down here at night. I don't want to say that I believe in this sort of thing because that's kind of silly, but just in case.
Reporting from the other side, Jeff Van Sant, 3 News Now.
And let's not forget, this happened in Nebraska. Nothing against Nebraska. It's not like Nebraska is like New York and Los Angeles, big cities and stuff that things get more recorded with tracking paperwork. Nebraska's a lot of country.
It sure is.
You know, I drove through Nebraska going from Washington to New York. Guys, I still remember driving through Nebraska and how flat Nebraska was. I mean, Nebraska was flat. And we were going when it was like the coldest time of the year. And one of my hoses busted. And we had to get out. And at least the break of the hose was more in the front where it was connected to. So all we had to do really is saw it off and reconnect it. It was so freaking cold in Nebraska. We were like, I mean, we had a hard time. We had to take turns cutting the hose because I'm from the West Coast. I wasn't used to that kind of cold.
I bet.
And then nice enough, a cop did pull over to the side and ask if we needed help, but we got the hose connected. So that was my little experience on Nebraska. And I also remember through Nebraska, we're trying to find a hotel that night. And what was the weirdest thing was, for some reason, the parts of Nebraska we were in, after 8, 9 o'clock, there's nobody working at the front desk in the hotels.
Really?
If you couldn't check in by 8, you ain't going to find a hotel. This is true. We tried to find a hotel. Nobody. We ended up sleeping in the car with the dog. So it was cold. But I'm like, what? Is this just a Nebraska thing? Does all workers go home? There's no counter? Or sometimes people have a room next to the office. You ring the doorbell, they come out. None of the hotels we tried to find that night had that. Like, God.
Really?
Yeah, that was weird. That's my Nebraska story. But so would you two, if we had an opportunity for us three to drive down this road at night, maybe at the devil's hour, whatever they say, 333 or something, you guys do it?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, we'll make sure we'll bring the garlic.
It's the witching hour, I think it's called, right? The
Yeah.
witching hour or something.
The witching hour. We'll bring our holy, or of course we don't have the Holy Grail, but holy water, and
We'll be hanging out the window with FLIR cameras and night vision and everything else.
and I'll make sure Anthony does a prayer for all of us. You know.
Yeah. We'll
So
sacrifice
hopefully-
Ron.
So is there anybody in the chat by any chance have lived through lives in Nebraska? I think the very first
Oh,
Shelley wrote that she drove on that road. The Eagle Song Seven Bridge Road was that a person crosses Seven Bridge to visit the grove of Hank Williams Sr.
Yeah.
Just reminded me. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Hey, Shelly.
Okay, that's interesting. But let's check out this local ghost hunter. Local ghost hunter visits alleged paranormal site. Now this group, only thing is about this group, they're not the paranormal detectives. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. They're not the paranormal detectives, but this is another paranormal group. But I always say, to become a great paranormal group, you should watch other paranormal groups to see what they do, what they experience, and then you take bits and pieces what works for you. So let's check out this paranormal group.
At 11, we're celebrating Halloween a little early here at Western Mass News by taking you along on a ghost hunt with Agawam Paranormal.
And tonight we're searching for spirits in my hometown of Agawam at American Legion Post 185.
In Agawam, everybody knows the M60 parked outside American Legion Post 185, giving the Legion its nickname, the Tag. But they might not know the building behind it is reportedly haunted. That's why Agawam Paranormal is here, setting up night vision cameras, motion detectors, and other monitoring devices to look for evidence. One of the rooms in particular is known to regulars as a regular haunt, the banquet room. And that's where I sit down with Agawam Paranormal founder Rob Goff for a quick interview.
Actually, I want to ask you guys this. I see some of these groups, and there's a lot of them. Don't you think maybe if I'm going to a haunting building, and I'll continue playing this, but I would rather just go on maybe no more than with you two guys. 3.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like if there's too many people, it's too much distraction for
Yeah,
a
that's what's
ghost to
gonna
say,
happen.
"Hey, you know what? I'm out of here."
I feel the same way, man.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just feel that. I'm not saying you can't have an experience with groups, because apparently people do. But
Yeah.
I feel like a smaller group, just like the original Ghost Adventures, when it was just the beginning of those years, when it was just 3 of them, instead of now they have a 4, 5, or 6, or 7.
Right.
But the first attempt fails, our fresh batteries suddenly going dead. So we try a second time, and it happens again.
But what are we going to be doing? Why is this red, though?
That I don't know.
It's already flashing again like the battery's dying.
It's Casper. Casper eats batteries.
Yeah. And then our audio cuts out, making our voices impossible to understand. Turns out that's a common occurrence here at the tag. Voices just loud enough to hear,
Those are the
but not
cameras
quite
we're
understand.
talking about, Ron. You
Now,
just had to.
now, if that's a common occurrence there, Ron, do you think maybe they have some kind of electronic issue with the building that's causing that interference, or maybe really is something?
I couldn't hear. I had to go get the door. Somebody rang my bell, so I had to
I'll go back a
answer.
little
Sorry.
bit. I'll go back a
Those
little bit.
cameras
here.
right there on a tripod. Pay attention when he passes them, Ron.
Watch.
Those are the ones
Possible to understand.
Let me go back a little bit more. Do you hear the static?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know.
It's already flashing again like the battery's dying.
It's Casper. Casper eats batteries.
Yeah. And then our audio cuts out, making our voices impossible to understand. Turns out that's a common occurrence here at the tag. Voices just loud.
Now he says that's a common occurrences. Could that be some kind of interference within the building itself?
It's
yeah.
possible, but it's known that it's always been reported that that spirits and that can drain energy from devices.
The white
I haven't
noise.
had it happen to anything of mine yet, but only went on one. But it's possible. I mean, who knows
I've had
what's in
batteries
there?
like that before.
I would like, on that kind of an investigation, if you knew that kind of occurrence happens a lot, might not have been a bad idea to take an electrician along with you just to test out, making sure there's no interference from a building, especially if it's an old building.
Well, that's why we bring the EMF detector.
Oh, but yeah, I have scanners
Like-
for that stuff
yeah.
and everything. And I don't need I worked with them enough that I could do basic stuff, but I have we have the equipment for that to scan. And you see, Anthony, I have those too.
Yeah, I want to make a setup like that.
I got that right here.
Loud enough to hear, not quite understand what they're saying.
Yeah, you hear the voices and the footsteps, but I can't really say that they bother me. I don't feel like it's threatening.
Yeah.
I just feel like somebody's trying to get my attention.
Lynn O'Brien is the manager here at the Legion, many times closing up alone in the wee hours.
It's not every time I work, but at least once a week, something weird happens. Yeah. Well, I'm here a lot.
You've got such a wide range of people that have had experiences here. Everything from like Lynn, who lives here practically, to somebody that just comes in and has a beer. They're here for 20 minutes. Yet they're all having these same experiences and describing exactly the same thing from a different point of view.
Feelings of being watched, sightings of strange shadows, and phantom footsteps.
Door was locked. There wasn't a soul in that room. Clear as a bell. Boom, 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 boom. It was weird as heck.
That's exactly what we're hoping to capture. Something weird, something unexplained, something like this. Just after 11, inside a dark and empty banquet room, this orb appears in mid-frame and zooms from right to left. About an hour later, as Lynn sits in complete darkness by herself up in the attic, a pulsating orb approaches her from the right. She would later say she felt as if someone or something had just entered the room. So she turns to look in the darkness, and it zooms down through the floor. Below her in the storage room, the pulsating orb drops from the ceiling and continues its path down.
Now think about that. That's not bad, because she did look. It goes down, but then it goes down to the next level down, and they catch it. How do you explain that? Is that just luck of dust?
I was just going to say that. I wonder if the dust, a particle big enough for the IR light to catch it, because IR light strobes. When I look at my phone, you see no light on it now, but when you look through it with night vision, you always see a pulsing light, okay? So it's very possible that
It's
pulsing
possible.
light flashed on
Yeah.
the dust as it was coming down. You don't see it with your eyes because it's in IR, but the camera sees it. You know what I mean?
But it's kind of
That's a
cool that it
possibility.
kind of
Oh,
happened.
yeah, yeah.
We'll go back a
So-
little bit.
But I'm not
It's the
saying
same
that's
thing
it
like
is. I'm just saying
UFOs.
it's possible.
When you
That's
see the
what-
UFOs pulsing with people's phones, that's because the focus, that's the autofocus
Right.
going like that. And that's what happens with the same thing with that dust.
But it is kind of cool when they show that particle. She does turn, like she feels.
Oh yeah,
it.
no, that was cool.
Watching
In
it.
complete darkness, by herself, up in the attic, a pulsating orb approaches her from the right. She would later say she felt as if someone or something had just entered the room. So she turns to look in the darkness, and it zooms down through the floor. Below her, in the storage room, the pulsating orb drops from the ceiling and continues its path down out of frame. And there's also this picture, taken in the banquet hall. Just to the left, we've highlighted an anomaly. A tall, dark shape where there shouldn't be anything at all. Finally, back to those strange noises. Now, we didn't hear any ghostly footsteps, but remember the disembodied voices, heard but never quite understood? The team sets up an audio recorder in what should have been a silent room. But when it's played back later, we get this. Could that be one of the voices? And added with the videos and the picture, is it evidence the tank is actually haunted?
Makes you scratch your head and wonder, as always. Every year we walk away from a location, wondering, what does this mean?
Well, that's for you to decide. Happy Halloween.
I would say that would be a successful investigation, just because you do got some things that could be a lint, but it is kind of interesting to see her move.
Oh yeah,
and there's a shadow, and you might have caught something. So overall, it's a pretty good investigation.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that 100% was does. I'm just saying that the possibility is there always that it could be a particle in the air, but that was really cool.
You know what I just thought of, Anthony? I didn't think about it before. When we go on, if we get into that mansion, and I tell you I have this?
Yeah.
I have all CCTV systems, the DVRs. I have like 6 of the night vision cameras. We could wire up through the whole place.
That's what I'm talking about. We need to wire
I didn't
that.
even think of that last time.
That's what I was saying. Why I wanted to get the camera, the 6-pack.
Yeah.
I got
one more paranormal video. Champion Valley's most haunted Highgate Manor. Now, you guys are talking about going to a building. Well, this is about a manor, a house that's haunted. Let's see how they do it.
We'll just put
As the sun sinks into the horizon and darkness blankets the sky, Highgate Manor comes alive.
This house has some stories to tell, and that might be why I'm the skeptic. But if there could be, this house would definitely have some people staying here.
Owner Ben Osmondson isn't talking about paying guests. He's talking about voices from the past, people who once lived and died here.
After having the house a full year, this house is full of surprises.
While Ben and his wife Jill don't really believe in ghosts, they welcome in a group that's on the search for them. It's their 3rd time here.
We didn't have this the first couple times.
Eastside Paranormal investigates all things unusual.
I don't know why, guys. I don't know why. When I see this stuff, I vision a van pulling up with you two guys, 2 New Yorkers getting out. Get that. I could just, I don't know why. Ron's like, did you bring the wire? Did you bring the? No, I thought you brought the wire. I mean, I could see. I could feel the energy of here he comes. There it is, the paranormal detective.
We always got to bring a few bats in the trunk. See us swinging that ghost.
Wait till you come, Eric. Wait.
Oh, I know. And then it shows
somebody
somebody
to the most haunted place in New York when we get
there. Here I am. Hey guys, that's the party began.
They're spending the night, and so are we.
Got more excited as we heard the history behind the house. So we came here, we did our investigation, came up kind of dry until we went.
Everybody in the chat, that is very important what he said there. They did some investigation about the house before they went there. So if you know you're going to a place that you've heard as haunted, try to do all the research you can of finding out what have anything ever happened there. Now remember, we just talked about before, a lot of records was not recorded back in the 1900s. So you might not know everything, but you should try to research much as you can to find out, was there a death? Was it an old Indian burial ground or something? Just was there a battle back Midwest, East, there's a lot of Civil War battles places. So you do research the house before you go there.
To review the evidence, and we got some pretty strange recordings.
As the story goes, Dr. Henry Baxter bought the house in 1870. Most of his children died here before the age of 10, all of strange illnesses.
Now, depending on which side of the story you're on, there's two versions to it. Version one would be that they were dying at a very young age because he was experimenting on them.
Others say he was just trying new techniques to save their lives.
There's actually blood stains still on the floor.
Either way, many wonder if the Baxter children are sticking around, waiting to be cured.
How's it now?
Not bad. Someone just shut a light off.
Using sensitive audio and video equipment, the members of Eastside Paranormal get to work.
When we go to a place to say either it's haunted or not, we hope, we're giving you the best scientific answer we possibly can.
In complete darkness, the questions fly.
Are there any of the Baxter children around who would like to talk to us today?
Did something bad happen here?
Special equipment tests for cold spots and spikes of electromagnetic energy. Signs that something beyond the norm may be in the room.
There's someone here. Come on. Drop the temperature. Use the energy around you. Do something. Come on.
Guests often feel
I'm always wondering how would Anthony answer that? Would he do the New York style? Where are you? Show yourself.
Like, yo, get out of the closet over there. Show yourself. I hit you with a baseball bat.
That's what TV's missing. That kind of a personality. I would pay to see that.
Strange presence in the basement bar named after one-time visitor Al Capone. The cave-like room even links up with the Underground Railroad. Jessica Treya keeps an eye on this hotspot.
When you think about it, you're just like, we can't be the only ones out here, and you want to investigate.
As dawn breaks, the investigation is done. Shane says the hours of hard work paid off. When audio tapes were reviewed, 2 recorded questions were answered.
Is anyone else here? Are there multiple people?
Are the voices in the background real or a trick of the mind? Listen again.
Is anyone else here? Are there multiple people?
Bior and his team say the responses, which sound like yes'm and 33, may be the spirit of a former slave using the Underground Railroad. Did you hear it? A whole new mystery and a whole new day as the sun rises over Highgate Manor.
We need to go there, too.
That's some piece of property, man.
We need to go there. Now, that was interesting because sometimes I get what they're saying, that sometimes if you hear something, sometimes your mind is putting what is saying. You're putting in the lines itself. But what I try to look for is whatever that sound is, when did it happen? So it was pretty interesting that sound happens right after that one question. Then it's paused, and then that person asks another question, and then there's that other sound. So yes, we can put sentence in it, but when did that sound happen? That's what I would look for.
What's Terry Brown saying? That he's got the main problematic entity here. I do my best to ignore it. The comment above that one.
The main
problematic entity here. I do my best to ignore it. I don't poke the sleeping bear. The less acknowledgement I give it, the weaker it seems to be. Is your house haunted, Terry Brown? Because if it is, we can come there and do some ghost busting.
Oh man,
that would be great, right?
Do some ghost busting, bust some balls,
We'll go there and whack a ghost. No, really, if your house is haunted, that would be great. We'd go visit Terry, straighten out that ghost for him.
I see the ghost say, "You want energy? Here's energy." We'll put his genitals on battery terminals. The ghost.
I actually did
running down the stairs covered in slime.
The ghost had been saved me.
Where is it here?
Where you located, Terry?
Right here.
Which state you in?
I did a poll on my channel. I've been doing a few polls lately. They're fun. Like, is your house haunted? Only 49 votes. But if you guys still want to vote on all this, people, I'll put this link in the chat. But what is interesting is a simple question: is your house haunted? Now, out of 49 votes, 29% says yes, 57% says no, and 14% says don't know. That's a fair answer. But 29% is still, in reality, a pretty nice size. And we see here if anybody says anything about there. Depends on what you mean by haunted. I have 3 spirits in my house, but they're not mean or evil. Okay, so Eyes Wide Open says his house is haunted, but not mean or evil. This house, no, I've never heard of any experience there that could have been paranormal. However, I have lived in a few places that I fully believe were. The last place that I lived, that were multiple incidents of people seeing figures, things being thrown, people being touched. Okay. John P. Adventure wrote, I think not, but we have some natural family deaths here. At least my 2 grandparents. Cheers. Of course, we love house ghosts. My flock, some things definitely up with it's weird. I hope not, but sometimes I wonder. And then I like what Bigfoot Michigan Rob wrote there. Aren't they all? So that's why I love doing these polls, because I love reading the comments of what people put. I think they're fun, but it makes you think, right?
I want to go see what Terry Brown got going on in his house, man.
What state does he live in?
I don't know. He didn't say yet.
Hey, Terry, give everybody your address. That's awesome.
Well, Terry, weren't you supposed to mail me something, Terry?
Yeah, like an EMF detector, but Ron don't want it. Send it to me.
Well, I think we talked enough paranormal. Let's go check out some Bigfoot footages. Now, if anybody wants to know, the reason I have some of these little intros in the middle of it, because I like to add chapters to the video when they're done. So when I have those little intros, it tells me exactly what section I talk about this and this and this, to make it a little easier for some people, because there are some people that only care about Bigfoot. They don't want to hear about paranormal. Well, I have it where I have the chapters built in. So those little intros is just to give me where those are, and I can put the time for those little chapters. And I did that for you guys. I did that for people in the chat, just in case they don't care about everything. I love hearing it all. I wish you guys all would. Oh, yeah. But some people don't, and that's fair.
Terry's in Ohio, by the way.
Ohio.
Yeah, he's right here. It's like, what's that, like a 10-hour drive?
Yeah, if that.
Like that, right?
This one is on a mission to track and find Bigfoot. It was on ABC News.
All tales of ape-like animals walking upright. Tonight.
Now, they're talking about the skunk ape of Florida in this one.
ABC's Gloria Riviera goes looking for a face-to-face encounter.
Hey, get out of my way, get out of my way, I can't film. It's 10 p.m. in Florida's Green Swamp.
Here at work. Yeah, I hear that. I thought that was one of you guys.
No, that was something running towards us. That's 63-year-old Mark Barton and 51-year-old Chris Connor. For the past 3 years, they've been on a wild mission to prove that Florida's very own version of Bigfoot, the skunk ape,
A lot of activity.
a hairy, 7-foot-tall, half-man, half-ape creature
It's close.
with very bad body odor,
Oh, there's that odor again, guys.
is for real. They swear they've seen one.
It looked apish. It had round cheeks, thin lips, the broad nose, deep eye sockets, and what you can make out to be a thick brow.
Legend has it the creature lives somewhere in here. 110,000 acres of the overgrown, waterlogged, snake-infested jungle known as Florida's Green Swamp.
Jeez, like Jurassic Park in here.
Chris says he and his sister first spotted it when they were children.
It was taking like 3 of these larger steps getting back into the swamp and just blended into the swamp, and that was it. I'm beginning to be more and more convinced that this area has what we're looking for. The only problem is do you got the guts to go looking for it?
Why here? Why this swamp that happens to be in your backyard?
You've got thick vegetation, you have running water, you have wildlife for food. Why couldn't they be here?
The duo spends most weekends
awesome
trekking
point.
through palmetto trees,
Oh, the mosquitoes are getting thick.
trying their best to avoid the creatures they do know exist here.
How big was
Eh, 7 foot.
And I'm
Yeah, might
balding.
be getting camera close.
Adventure and fun drive them.
We're the two lonely souls that go back out to
We're
go.
the diehards here.
But it all started as a kind of
Bigfoot Anon
therapy.
is the
It all goes
diehard
back
in Florida,
to
buddy.
his wife was terminally ill, and we knew she was dying, and the day was eventually going to come. And so I said, when the day comes, you know, you need to stay busy. And at the time, there was a Finding Bigfoot show that was beginning to be more popular, and I said, you know what? I've always wanted to go do an expedition.
And I said, hell, why not? I have to do something. If I
And guys, that's important right there. I know sometimes we mock shows, certain shows, you know, we know they're actors. It's, you know, they stretch the truth. But on the good side, some of the shows do inspire people to start their own investigations.
Absolutely.
And that's fantastic. And hearing that guy's story about something happening to his wife, I've heard that
Terrible.
throughout communities. Like my buddy Mike, Long Island Bigfoot, he's experienced some stuff from the military. And for him, hunting Bigfoot is actually his medicine. It actually makes him feel better, and sometimes everybody thinks you got to go to a doctor or a shrink. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but sometimes that's just as good as going to a massage place, going out doing your
Same thing, bro.
investigations.
Same for
Getting out
me.
there.
Same thing for me, man. It's my therapy.
It's your therapy. So I respect if it takes the therapy to go out, if it took a show for you to get out, at least you're out there.
Yeah.
All I can say, at least you're out there.
I sit here, I'm not gonna make it.
Now they're hooked. They document their adventures on their YouTube channel, The Trail to Bigfoot.
Someone's gonna pan slowly over there.
This video is, they say, their jackpot proof. The day they nearly came face to face to it. That black speck right there, they say that's the skunk ape.
There's the eye opening up.
I do see some
Right there.
movement.
Looks like some blinking possibly going on. There's the other eye.
It does look like something big and dark
Yeah,
and
see it right
hairy.
there?
It's not a hog.
Would that be? I know this is the hardest kind
Hard
of
to
evidence.
tell, man.
That is the
so hard
hardest.
to tell.
The thing is, when they show that, right? I see a lot of these places, they'll show that. Like he's saying, oh, look, you see the blinking here and this? Show it then to us. Like,
I know,
like
I was
leave the
watching
camera
this.
on there, like you're showing her, and let us see that. We always get the glimpse.
Or why not walk in to the weeds with the camera and get right up on it if it's there?
Yeah. Andy, I agree with this too. Or there's a ghostly by mistake. Andy, I say that all the time. Why would a Bigfoot person not want to understand the paranormal? Because the sounds and the things they see could be a ghost. You hear that sound? You heard that? Somebody hitting the tree? Ghosts are known to pick things up and throw it at you or throw it at walls. So if you're open-minded to a Bigfoot, you got to be open-minded to paranormal.
Yeah, you gotta leave all the avenues open.
Or hell, it could be an alien walking back there. I mean,
Could be
know.
it could be a hairy relative you haven't seen in
a
years.
hairy
Who knows?
relative that hasn't shaved for weeks.
Ma, what are you
No,
doing
it's
in the
not
bush?
When people say you're crazy,
You're doing in
your
the bush,
answer
something like a
is-
We're
bush.
going to do our part to be able to show what's really out there.
Oh yeah, there's water right there.
Okay.
Now I'm interested in what's out there.
So we don't know how they're gonna interpret the cameras.
We don't know
Whether they'll
because
see them as weapons.
we're about to head in.
They don't
This
carry
is probably
cameras
the
every time they
moment
go
where
in.
you're thinking this is
That's what I'm about to say. They got some footage, right? They had some equipment with them.
crazy.
see,
It is
yeah.
thick jungle in there. So I'm going to treat this as seriously as you do.
Now remember, this is what we're looking for.
This is where we're going.
Right in here.
About a half-mile in,
Look at this. This was fresh.
Mark and Chris start finding what they say is evidence.
Are you looking at a footprint, Chris?
it's not enough. I'm just saying it looks like there's some characteristics there with a large toe and another digit and
It's
another
very
digit.
small, though.
And so
but see, a hog won't do that. A
hog
deer
wouldn't
won't do
because
that.
it looks like the toes are splayed just a little bit,
Just a
but it's
little
not
bit of-
good enough. But it's just of interest to pay attention to.
It is of interest. I'm just saying, I don't hear birds.
Prejudge you. I mean,
We,
I
we
didn't-
passed an area right up
I
there,
didn't taint
and
your-
to me, the atmosphere changed in the woods.
You guys believe in that theory? They say if there's a Bigfoot in the area, there'll be no sounds.
No, because they live in the. What the hell do I know? I'm just for me. I know. Say
but
no.
Anthony, I agree with you. They're part of nature.
Part of nature.
They're used to each other. You know.
But sometimes when there's predators in the wild, they'll set off the alarm, and sometimes they'll go quiet so they don't bring attention to themselves. Some animals.
Right. So who's to say?
It depends on how those animals look at Bigfoot.
I would have to determine that if I ever had like an up close sighting like that, I would have to see if something like that happened. Until then, I can't give you a definitive answer.
For me.
Yeah.
If they're in the area, the wildlife just shuts up because they're the alpha male.
Listen. But still no sighting. And then?
What the hell was that?
I did hear something.
I heard that.
I also heard something wasn't there. I heard a knock. I don't know what it was, but I heard something.
It sounded like a clap, something the guys refer to as a knock.
Hey. What?
Are you hearing something this way?
No, I heard stuff this way. Chris is following back this way, but up in this direction, well, I thought it was a knock, but it just, something was going on. I can't hardly explain it.
Now, I'm like, would a drone be the best thing to have right now? So you heard something a couple yards out in the thick brush. Wouldn't it be logical to hold your position and just send a drone up to get aerial surveillance?
You have a thermal camera on it too.
You're never gonna walk through that brush quietly. I mean, that thing's gonna take off like lightning. I would just send up the drone.
Well, what I would do is, if we had a group like this, I would say, myself, Anthony will go left, Anthony will go right, and then I would have Ron do the drone, so maybe we could flush it out to move.
Why can't we do the drone and let Ron go chase Bigfoot?
No,
don't you want to? Because Anthony, maybe. Since he's doing the drone, maybe Bigfoot's going to go around the camp and attack him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now it's back to let the paranormal attack Ron. We're back to that again. All right, I got you.
A minute. Is there something out there?
That was short-lived.
Your brain starts playing tricks on you, and you start thinking you're seeing what you want to see. And I kind of want to see a Bigfoot.
But instead of Bigfoot, I see something else.
Oh, snake. Big one.
Snake.
Where?
Big black. It's okay. It's just a black one.
It's an indigo?
There he goes. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Except when we examine it further.
Holy Lord Jesus. That's a freaking moccasin. He's dirty looking, and they're very territorial, and you can see him right there.
That'll bite you.
Yes. We want to make sure
and here we were, how far away from the Gloria? 3 foot?
Too close.
Yeah. So I was completely wrong with the water moccasins, what it looks like. Very
I don't know in that part of the land.
Yeah, the 12 boys out there.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Okay, there you go.
He's not coming after us.
After a total of 5 hours, no sign of the apparently shy skunk ape today. What is real? Their brotherhood, based on believing.
There is an aspect about this.
But I do want to ask you guys a question here. The skunk ape gets his name because they smell. I guess they have this smell to them. But this is my thing about smells. It's a cool name, but the percentage of somebody even being close to a Bigfoot's almost 1 out of 1,000,000. You know, it's that luck. So if it's that luck, how could you really even tell somebody this one has a smell? I mean, you have to be the luckiest person in the world to get close to several Bigfoots to make that. You know, saying this one smells. Maybe they all smell. You just got close to one.
But skunk ape, Bigfoot, orang pendant, all those names are all for Bigfoot, though, right? They're just nicknames in different states.
Yeah. Well, they say that because Bigfoot has a certain smell, and that's why they call it the skunk ape in Florida. Maybe.
You know what I always wanted to know? Does their hair stop growing at a certain length? Because you would think that you always see pictures of them, right? Drawings and illustrations where their hairs are always short, like a bear. I wonder if it stops growing at a certain length. Because if it just kept growing like human hair, I mean, they would look like Cousin It walking around.
I would think they adjust. Maybe they adjust to the climate.
Climate.
Because you ever see like gorillas? Like it depends where they are. Like the
gorillas, winter the hair's longer, summer it's short.
Yeah, then when they go up higher and it gets colder, their hairs are real long.
Yeah,
like that.
Right.
Maybe they adapt.
I always
wish that happened with me, where my hair can stay short all the time, never have to cut it.
Now let's look at some footages here and see what they think. You know, Ron and Anthony, they know how to.
No sacrificing, Ron. Okay.
No sacrifice. This is just looking at these shots to see if you think there's something there. Bigfoot or Dogman right there. That thing popping out of the tree. I want you guys think. Look at that footage again. Do you think that is something, or that just a person? Because they wrote Bigfoot or Dogman caught being sneaky.
Nah, it looks like a person to me.
Oh, it doesn't have quick like neck movement.
Look how thin the tree is. Ain't no Bigfoot hiding behind it.
Looks like a stop sign pole. That's how thin it is.
Yeah, because I picture a Bigfoot and Dogman bigger than an average person, and that one doesn't look
massive, right?
Now this one here is supposed to be called Bigfoot New Evidence Running, and I think it's running too much like a human. But I want to see what you guys think.
Okay.
I know it's hard. Right there.
No, I see what you're saying. I think it's a person in a costume.
Like Bigfoot's speed walking.
Yeah, because especially like right there. Watch.
Honestly, it looks like a costume to me.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Right there.
Very oversized costume.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like they found Skinny Jimmy and put him in it.
Get in here, Jimmy. Go scare the kids.
Yeah.
That's a human.
Yeah, that's. I'm going with costume on that one.
And that's supposed to be caught thundering bird caught on camera.
I've heard of this before. You know, I on Amazon they actually sell this big remote control bird like that, and the wings flap like that. You know,
sorry.
I don't know.
Could that just be a regular bird, and its way your camera's catching it in the sky?
What, like camera perspective?
Yeah, like that's just a normal bird, but the way the camera is filming it.
Let it play. Let me see that clip one more time.
Go back, okay.
I don't know what kind of bird that could be.
Like a pterodactyl.
Looks like a pterodactyl, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. This is Bigfoot the Snow.
That looks legit. I mean, if I was gonna, my perception of what a Bigfoot would look like I would think something similar to that.
I agree that one's walking more like a Bigfoot than the other video we saw that looks like somebody running. Like
and the hand, the arms remind me of the Patterson Gimlin footage.
That's exactly what it looks like. Like they were doing an imitation of it.
Right.
Maybe that's just how they walk.
Maybe that's just how they walk.
We'll go back and watch it one more time.
But that bird don't look right to me.
Well, can't a bird? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back here. But can't a bird just have a mutation to it?
I don't know. I'm not a bird wildlife expert, but that.
Oh, hold on. I thought all New Yorkers are bird watchers.
No, I'm the guy with the.
He's the pigeon guy.
I thought everybody lives near the city, goes into the Central Park and stare at birds and film them or feed them.
Rats with wings. We got pigeons out here.
It just looks too stiff.
Yeah, it looks animatronic or like fake.
Yeah, it's like here he has arthritis and nothing moves. Then the rest go like that,
There we go. Let's watch
this one. I like this one, but I don't know if it's real or fake. But it looks cool.
But the thing is, how he's filming, he must be walking too, because it was like.
Well, he could be zoomed in a lot, all the way.
Like zooming in.
His hand could be shaking from fear too,
Yeah, I can see that. Let's remove that one. I want you guys to look at this water one, another water creature. Water monster in Lions Falls.
In the waving waters below the Davis Bridge in Lions Falls, a mystery lurks.
Listening to people talk about this monster that lives in Lions Falls, and everyone has slightly different stories.
First, start this place anywhere near where you guys live?
No.
No?
It's upstate New York.
Upstate. Maybe it's near where sometimes I go to New York, upstate.
Probably.
Whether it's a bank robber threw his loot over the bridge and couldn't retrieve it because a monster was protecting it because it's a good monster and it was a bad robber. Or just fishermen that were out about fishing and this thing surfaced below the water and scared them.
The story started here decades ago at the former Lyons Falls paper and pulp mill. Jim Skarupa, a retired mill worker, grew up hearing the stories. And while he's never seen the lioness, he's heard plenty of accounts.
The first time I heard the story was back probably in the 1950s. My father worked at the mill also. And he come home and at supper table, he mentioned the name of a guy that was fishing on the Black River and saw this, what he called a monster.
At the old mill, they took lunch breaks and went fishing for the monster with specially made fish hooks so that they could catch the monster and prove that it was real.
Well, one of them described it as like a snake type thing, like you would say with Loch Ness. And another one just said it was just the head was bobbing up and stuff, so that they weren't sure, what the length of it was or the size of it, but yeah.
It's the same description shared by the Brown family. After spending the day with family swimming in the river, Sam and Eric Brown hopped into their minivan with their children to head home. But their departure was stalled when...
We actually threw the minivan into park because we were just so shocked by what we saw, and it came out of the water like an eel or like a snake body, and it had spikes coming out of the top that moved with the body. And it was just, it moved like nothing we've ever seen.
When its head went underwater, the rest of the body just arced out. So fish go back and forth, right? It's something different that its back bends that way. And as it went underwater, there were spikes on its back, probably 12-inch long spikes that came out, really thin spikes. And they raised up and then lowered back down to it as it was slowly going underwater, and then it was just gone.
They didn't get a photo, it all happened so fast, but Eric did create a rendition of what he saw. A skeptic about such folklore, his skepticism was eradicated that day. Now he and his wife Sam hope to bring in experts that can take a deep dive into the water to confirm the truth of exactly what they saw.
Well, we reached out to Jeremy Wade and River Monsters to let them know about what we saw too, because who do we get to come check this thing out, because we believe in it that much.
I'm obnoxiously skeptical about this sort of thing. I don't know what it was, and if someone else had seen it, I'd say it was a beaver, I'd say it was any number of things. It was a fish, it was a log, it was something caught in the river. But we knew we don't know what we saw, but we know what we didn't see, and it really wasn't any of those things.
It actually sends chills up your spine, like it was immediate goosebumps. You just know that you're seeing something that you've never seen before.
Some believe the creature might be an ancient sturgeon, as this picture depicts.
Okay. See that picture? What's that?
Click what I put on the bottom. That's what it probably is.
Oh, you put... Oh, okay, let me see here.
Probably a sturgeon. See the spikes on the back?
And if you saw like almost three, maybe there was three of them.
And some of them go really big.
Huge.
Really big.
These things get huge.
But when you look at this picture...
It's taken by a local resident.
Now, that was supposed to be taken by a local resident.
It looks like a fish.
Sturgeon? Man, they get 12, 15 feet long, Eric.
That could be a catfish?
Their heads are like this. Sturgeon. They look like dragons the bigger they get. That right there looks like a what do you call that fish? Not a carp.
A catfish?
Let's see what they say.
Dubbed lioness by villagers.
I don't believe that it's a sturgeon. I had a lot of people try to tell me, like, well, is it a sturgeon or is it a log? And it's just the spikes that came out of its back moved with its body. And it was much more like a snake or an eel movement, but I don't think it was long enough.
Only thing I'll say is, I guess some things you just got to be there to see for yourself. I mean,
See
it's
what Danny Stanton said? My brother caught one as big as a Volkswagen. They get huge.
And if you don't look at a sturgeon every day, I mean, it's not like you're going to know exactly what
Right.
it looks like,
Right.
too. You know, and that's a possibility. It's like a Bigfoot. You don't see something every day. How would you even know if it's a Bigfoot or a dog man?
Because on my beach, you know, once in a while sturgeon will come in, and you'll just see the arch of the back come out of the water with all those spikes, and then they go back down like a snake, kind of. But they're massive.
And when you're watching, you're not expecting it, and something pops out, like you get a quick glimpse of something.
Yeah, and you never seen it before. You're like, oh my god, it's a monster, you know.
But I always leave that little piece of you never know.
Hope that it really is a monster, right?
Never know, right?
And one last thing I'll show people.
Exactly, Chris. Sturgeon grow real big.
Guys, everybody in the chat, you could get yourself something for Christmas. Buy something for Christmas. My favorite part in the cartoon is this. Let me show you guys this.
Here comes a commercial.
Get a mug.
See that? You guys, hold on. Let me go back here. Hold on a second. Pause. Let's look at that. Where's that cut? Where's that cut?
We want you to buy a grail.
Yeah.
No,
I should buy a chalice.
You could get yourself a Holy Grail at my own store. Right there. There's different colors.
I like that green one.
Yeah, that's my green sign. That's my paranormal sign.
I like that.
I even have oh, hold on, you can't see it right there.
Right, with green screen, when you're drinking, you'll see his logo only.
I gotta get my little girl a unicorn shirt. Not My Little Pony.
Hold on. I got a bigger picture of that. I actually hold on, let me share the screen. I got it on a bigger screen. That's my
You have kid sizes in there?
Oh, you can do all sizes. It's all sizes.
I gotta get my little one. She's gonna love that.
It's the five main.
What site is your stuff on, Eric?
Teespring. It's in the description.
Oh, Teespring?
Yeah, it's in the description. I have it in my description.
I gotta order a t-shirt right now.
And I also put that on my community bar, that picture. It's the five characters, the five main brother characters, and the unicorn, because the unicorn is in every single episode. So I put that together, and YouTube fixed my channel where people can actually see it. So if you want a part of the cartoon, guys, there it is. Or you want a piece of a cup. I was just excited because I can never get any shirts all that on my channel. And then you guys taught me on how to speak to YouTube, and I did, and they fixed it.
Would it take like 24 hours till they straightened it out?
They were actually been working on it probably about 40 minutes, you know. But at least they didn't, then they come back, say, we'll get back to you. I worked on it, and it's kind of cool. And then I'm like, all right, I can get my, show people the unicorn with the five characters, and so what do you guys got coming up today?
I'm ordering it right now, Mo.
Yeah, there's different colors. When I do it, I always just click on all colors because that's the person picked. They said that there's actually a rhythm, people. There's 4 or 5 colors that are the most popular. Just click it all. Let anybody choose whatever color they want.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Jesus. I was going to try to put the link in. The link is like 625 characters or something like that. I'm going to have to shorten it up. Give me a second. I'll throw it in the chat.
But all they have to do, honestly, Ron, right here, just go to my community bar right here. If you go to the community bar, there's a store. And you just click on the store, and it's all right there. Just go to the community bar, go to the Paranormal Highway store, and got the cups. And the cups are only $10.99. I don't price out the cups that much.
Me neither.
And I even put that picture, Anthony, on a cup too of that unicorn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I just dropped. I'm gonna drop this little short URL. That's a link right there. That should take you.
So before we go, because I know
Thank you. Your order has been placed.
Before we go, because I know I have a physical therapy appointment coming up. What do you guys got coming up? Ron, what do you got coming up today?
Nothing today, but
you're leaving town for a while too, right?
This is tomorrow. I just dropped it right there. In your bottom of your screen?
Yeah, I'm going. Oh, there we go. Let me. Oh, you put my channel. Or actually, let me go here. Cosmic. Okay, let me share this screen real quick. Cosmic Neighbors. So you said you got something.
I just dropped it on the bottom for you, the picture. See it on the bottom of the screen?
Oh, okay.
No, that's
okay.
mine. That's mine. That's my show. That's the wrong one.
Eric, see the picture on the bottom says Ron Cosmic Neighbors?
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. I don't know if you're coming, Eric, but I know Anthony's be there. I gave Ron Moorhead's going to be the guy from that produces Sierra Sounds, and he has Quantum Bigfoot. But also, who's going to join us is Long Island Bigfoot, and I'm going to probably send an invite to Brown Dwarf.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
No, what I like about this being tomorrow, because 4 o'clock my time, and my kids get out of school early on Fridays. And then, 4 o'clock, I'm free. Actually, they're on spring break winter break after tomorrow.
Winter recess? Nice.
Yeah. Man, I don't have to send Anthony Anthony, I might be a little bit late.
No, Ron Moorhead, man. I'm really. I haven't ever heard this guy talk. So
he's nice.
Really,
he has some nice cowboy
questions
face,
for him.
right?
I have some curious questions for him too, because I'm sure he gets drilled only about the Sierra Sounds all the time. You know what I mean?
No, I got other questions for this guy.
And then what's this right here? This is Sunday.
This is a Sunday. We're gonna investigate UFO footage, fact or faked.
Look at that intelligent guy right there, just thinking first.
That's a great
Am
picture.
I really sitting here with two?
He found the good pictures of both of you. He straightened out, but he put Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man of me in the middle. He found that one somewhere.
I thought that was a good picture of you.
Terrible.
Terrible. You look good there. What are you talking about? I thought that was a great picture. Janine said, Actually, Janine picked that. She said, that's a handsome picture of Ron. Put that.
When somebody goes, Eric, what are you doing with a couple of New Yorkers? Well, guys, I'm married a New Yorker. My wife's from New York, upstate New York.
I'm gonna take that picture your sister sent me of you naked in the shower, and I'm gonna put it up.
Hold on, whoa. A picture of a naked in the shower?
She sent me. She said, use this one on the thumbnail. Ron's sister sent me a naked picture of him in the shower when she scared him.
Dude, that'll get people
like a crippled duck.
That'll get people looking. So beyond that, people in the chat, I'm gonna say it was an awesome show today. It was fun. Hopefully, you guys learned something about the sister wives.
Again,
the Haunted Sisters Road.
Go subscribe to Sister Wives.
Sister Wives. Man, something's gonna happen to the sister wives, and they're gonna come after me saying Eric mentioned something about haunting.
Eric jinxed us.
And all that. But beyond that, guys, have a good day. It's gonna be fun.
Take care, everybody.
And I'll talk to you very later.